What is up, guys? Eric here from Real Film Reviews, bringing you another movie review, this time for the new Guillermo del Toro film, The Shape of Water. Shape of Water is written and directed by Guillermo del Toro, stars Sally Hawkins, Octavia Spencer, Michael Shannon, and Richard Jenkins. Shape of Water tells the story of a mute female janitor at a top-secret facility in the 1950s that when a new asset is brought in that is this amphibious creature, she begins to form a almost romantic relationship with the creature over time at her job. Now, I know that the plot for this film is very odd and different, but I'll get to the plot later in my opinions of it and why I think it's truly great. The first thing I want to talk about, though, is the creature itself, this giant amphibious creature that I thought was a lot of CGI, and I know anyone watching this is like, it's Guillermo del Toro, why would you ever think it would be CGI? In a lot of the trailers, the creature looked more CGI than it is in the film. In the film, the only thing CGI about this thing is its eyes, and then occasionally when it'll have like its gills pop out or something. It was very impressive. Like, if this movie doesn't win for makeup and like practical effects, I will be very surprised because it looked amazing in every single sequence. Del Toro's direction is great in this movie. This is probably his best directed film that he's ever made because the story is so different, and he also wrote it, and that's another testament to how good of a writer Guillermo del Toro is, because the script for this film is great. It has sequences that are very odd and they feel really weird and out of place, but they fit so well in the script of this film. And I think that there are so many other sequences in the film that are very average. They're very normal scenes to have in a movie like this, yet he's able to make every single scene, regardless of how mundane or how extravagant it is, look amazing. The performances here are really good. Sally Hawkins in particular impressed me a lot because she's mute in the film. Her character can't speak, yet she gives a phenomenal monologue in the film with sign language, and it's absolutely wonderful. I thought that her performance was so powerful because of the fact she couldn't speak. All of her acting had to come from her facial expressions and her actual body language and reactions to things, and I was genuinely shocked at how impressive I found her performance. Octavia Spencer, who plays Sally Hawkins' character's like best friend, is hilarious, like genuinely hilarious in this film. She works side by side with her at the top secret facility, and her character is simultaneously like this very loving and supportive friend, but she's also so funny throughout the entire movie. Richard Jenkins, who plays Sally Hawkins' character's neighbor, is sort of this like old lonely artist, and he's also wonderful. His love for the arts shows through in this movie, and that's because Guillermo del Toro has so much respect for the arts, and I think that that was what Richard Jenkins' character was in this film to show, along with obviously helping along the plot. Michael Shannon played maybe my favorite villain of all of 2017 in this movie. He is absolutely despicable in this movie, and I loved his performance so much. He did such a good job, and I know for Michael Shannon it's not surprising for him to give a good performance, but he was so good in this role that could have really been a very average bad guy villain role, but he sold it so well in every single scene, and that's also a testament again to how good the script for this film is, because this movie's plot is very different. It's a very weird idea to think, oh, this mute janitor at a top secret facility during the Cold War falls in love with a fish man, but when you really scrape it down to the bare minimum, it's just a love story between two people who understand one another, and I think that that is absolutely wonderful, and it's part of the reason why I think this film is connecting with so many people. And then the last thing that I do want to mention is how this movie has, I think, maybe the best score of 2017. The score of this film was wonderful in every single sequence, and I was just absolutely amazed at how well they were able to put together a score for such an odd film, because a film like this isn't an easy movie to make a score for. Do you make it epic? Do you make it subtle? Do you have to do a lot of different little tweaks? And that's the thing. Somehow the score for this film fits so perfectly with this very odd and obscure story that it was telling. I really only have one issue with this film, and it's related to the pacing of the film. And it's not that the pacing was too slow. To me, it was a little too fast. The beginning started very strong. We got good character development. We learned about everyone. We learned about the situations they were all in, and it was really great. And then as we leaned into the second act and things began to progress story-wise, the film again was really working through that very well. But by the time the third act rolled around where we were getting to the true climax of the film, it felt rather rushed in my opinion. And I understand if you've seen the film in the script, it's sort of supposed to feel that way a little bit, but it was a little excessive to me. I think they could have pulled it out a little bit longer, because while I really enjoyed the third act of this movie, I would have liked just a little bit more. I'm gonna give The Shape of Water an A-. This is a very odd and different film, but it's absolutely beautiful. Well guys, as always, I'm Eric. If you enjoyed this review, please do like, subscribe, comment down below what you thought of Shape of Water, share everything we do here on Real Film Reviews, and I hope to see you guys later.